Kate Middleton only married Prince William for his status and his money. That's it. The only agenda Kate had when she was at university was to woo William, catch him, snap him up, and keep him all to herself. And there were rumours also, and I believe this is true because Kate looks the kind of jealous type. She didn't like any other women going near William, and every time they did, she got a bit defensive, like, oh, he's mine, back off, leave him alone, I'm the one trying to snare him here. But it was really weird. She used to eat the same breakfast as him. It was fruit and nut and muesli, and they'd do the same classes, but William wanted to leave, but the men in the grey suits said, no, you have to stay. And it's a shame, really, because if they'd have let him leave, then him and Kate wouldn't have been an item. They wouldn't have got married. They wouldn't have dated. And just that one mistake from the men in the grey suits has cost William dearly, because now he's ended up with her and he can't stand the woman anymore. Now, I'm not being horrible, but if William had been a dustman, then Kate wouldn't have looked at him twice. It was his status, Prince William. All the young girls were eyeing him up all the time, the crowds, the girls cheering him. And Kate thought, well, I'm going to get you and I'm going to have that nice lifestyle. But I think she's realised now it's not all what it's cracked up to be, because Meghan said that what it seems like it should be, it isn't. It's the complete opposite what it's supposed to look like. But no, the mother sent her there deliberately because she'd dropped out of Edinburgh University, and the teachers were shocked at Marlborough because they said, look, she said she was going to Edinburgh and then the next minute she's going to St Andrews. And you've got to blame the press in a way, because without the press, Carol and Kate wouldn't have known about William going to St Andrews University. So it's the press again, I'm afraid. And without that, they wouldn't have known he was going there and they wouldn't have met again. And then she took a gap year and she knew that William was in Chile, but she was 2 weeks late after he'd been there. So again, she's following him, stalking him. And then she was designing her wedding dress and her venue when she was at Marlborough in her dormitory room. And everyone was like, what are you doing? She said, oh, I'm planning my wedding when I marry Prince William. And also there was a play she did on the stage once, and she was saying, I'm going to marry the handsome prince one day. And they said, what will be his name? And she said, oh, his name is William. That's not a coincidence, I'm afraid. That was done deliberately. Carol was orchestrating the whole thing. At university, I don't think William actually liked her. I think the only way he got interested in her was when she stripped off on the catwalk. So she just had a bra and knickers on, and then it was originally supposed to be a skirt, but she pulled it up and made it into a dress. And someone said, isn't that a bit cheap and tacky? Because he only fancied her after she showed a bit more flesh. And again, that just proves it's lust and not love. She had to show more of her body just to attract him. So it couldn't have been her personality, because he'd have liked her first time. But she really had to do herself up, scrub herself up. She used to wear wigs all the time. She got her teeth done. She had her waist done. She had liposuction. But it wasn't love. It was always to chase the prize, and that's the lifestyle. I mean, she's never done a day's work, and this is what she was planning. She wanted a life where she didn't have to work hard. She wanted to live off someone else and let them earn the money. But, and all that rubbish, when she was at St Andrews University, she said that she wanted to be a teacher, but that never happened. But it's rubbish, that story, because if she wanted to have been a teacher, then she wouldn't have bothered chasing William. But that's just garbage, because it's like she had to make out that she wanted to have a job, but secretly she didn't want to get a job. She worked for her parents' company party pieces. Now they've gone bankrupt and they never paid the money back. But all she did was pack up cardboard boxes and deliver them and God knows what. But that's not really a job. And then they discuss about how she looked after her grandfather when he was ill. But again, that's not really a job. You'd want to look after them because you know they're on their way out. But she's never been motivated, Kate, to work. And again, it just, you can see her now looking at William, and it isn't love. It was never love, because if someone had said, right, Prince William, he works in a restaurant, that's it, and his salary's not that good, and she wouldn't have touched him. But because it was Prince William, he's got this marvellous lifestyle, a global interest as well, and she thought, I want to become the next Princess of Wales. I want to try and become the next Diana. I don't know why she bothered, because she hasn't become her. And at the beginning, you could just tell it wasn't love, because it was all about her. And I don't think she was that much concerned about William. And then also, after they got married, she used to attend a lot of engagements with soldiers and military places. And she'd always start flirting with the men. And someone said, is that the actions of a happy married woman to the bloke she's supposed to be in love with? And someone said, no, it's because she doesn't love William and she wants to look at someone else, because she wants someone with a bit more sass and excitement. But it wasn't love, it was the money. And people will say, oh, how do you know? Well, Carol Middleton, her mother, was so persistent. She said, look, you'll have to keep making him happy in certain ways, as we all know what the obvious one was. Again, another red flag is to wait for 10 years for marriage. I mean, it just proves how desperate she was to get William. Again, she wasn't desperate because she wanted to love him. She was desperate because she didn't want to lose that chance of not having that lifestyle. But Carol said to William once, oh, when are you going to make an honest woman out of my daughter? Meaning, like, are you just going to use her as some prostitute all the time instead of actually doing it for love? And I don't think either of them married for love. I think at the beginning he thought, oh yeah, I like you, Kate. And I think she probably put on a good show, like, oh yes, I'm really nice, William, look at me, da-da-da-da-da. Then after they got married, I think it completely died off. I bet he thought, oh no, actually this isn't what I signed up for. And I think Kate's realised that as well. Of course, she always looks at William now with contempt. And at the beginning, I wouldn't actually say she didn't look as happy as Harry and Meghan after they got married. It was more like, oh, is this it? But that's what you wanted, Kate, so you can't have it both ways. It wasn't love. I'm sorry. It wasn't love. She used to call him names, Baldy, because he started going bald. And that was before Harry and Meghan came on the scene. I think that was about 2014. She called him that, Baldy. And I know people say it's a harmless joke, but it's not very nice, because I bet if that was her, because she hasn't got that much hair underneath anyway, I bet she wouldn't like it if William called her that. But and another thing she said once, someone said, oh, you're really lucky to be dating the prince. And she said, oh no, William's the lucky one. And I thought, what a snob. And I thought, what an arrogant woman. And again, that just doesn't sound like love. That sounds like, oh, well, I'm the prize and he's got to catch me. But it wasn't, Kate. You had to catch William. But the way she was acting, like almost she was the one, the be-all, end-all. Oh, aren't I marvellous? But she wouldn't be well known now if it wasn't for William. She'd be a nobody. So I don't know why she thinks she's done it all herself. She's only well known because of William and her marriage. Hence why she wanted to marry him, because she's relevant nowadays. Well, sometimes. But, yeah, it wasn't love with Kate. She didn't love William. She wanted his money, the lifestyle, and the status. You take that away, and she wouldn't have chased him for 10 years. That's as simple as that. But people just say I'm deluded and balmy. Go ahead. But it's clear on her face. It wasn't love. It was the money.